What's up, fight fans and YouTube family? We're back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. So, if you tuned into this channel, you've tuned in to hear some of the best in boxing news. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like. And if you want to be notified when I'm putting up any videos, please click the bell notification icon and it will notify you when I drop my next video. So, Errol Spence Jr., Jaron Boots Ennis, Tim Zoo. We have a lot to talk about. So let's get right into this video. So Errol Spence Jr., Jaron Boots Ennis, Tim Zoo. We have a lot to talk about. So, well, first, before I get into the video, unfortunately, there was a tragedy. A freight boat crashed into a bridge. When I saw it, it completely shocked me. My condolences out to all the families that lost loved ones in that tragedy. Um, be strong. Be strong in a situation in a time like this. And from me and all of Round One Sports Talk, um, our prayers are with you. So, in boxing news right now, there is a lot going on right now, and there's a lot more to come. We have the Tim Tszyu fight coming up this week with Sebastian Fedora. Rolly's on the card. Pitbull Cruz. A lot of great fights, and we're gonna talk about that. Right. As of right now, I want to talk about one fighter and one fighter in particular. He is free. Can you say it? He is free. Jaron Boots Ennis won his court case in court. I believe he was suing his promotional company, and under the terms that they didn't fulfill their part of the agreement, meaning they didn't get him the fights when he signed, like saying, when I sign with you as a promotional company, you as my promotional company, you have to get me these fights. And I want 3 fights a year. So you're obligated to 3 fights a year. If I fight 4 times a year, that's up to me. But you've met your obligations. For every year he was on the contract, they didn't fulfill their end of the bargain. Then the gentleman that was running the promotional company passed away. His wife has recently obtained the rights of the promotional company, and Jerome Booth Ennis wanted out. Okay, well, everything seems to be wrapped up. All said and done, he is now being reported that he is a free agent. And what that means for the 140-pound weight division is that he's coming after them belts now. He's coming directly after them belts. Now, there are a couple people that I have in mind that he can fight. Um, for instance, right? Okay, the WBC champion right now, right? Okay, is the Aztec Warrior, Mario Barrio. Now, he can fight Mario Barrio, but Mario Barrio has 2 losses on his record. He got beat pretty bad by one time Keith Thurman, and he got knocked out by Tank Davis. Okay, he is a champion though, and he has something that Jerron Boots Ennis wants, and it's that belt. Okay, now Amando Stiliones, right? He is the WBA interim. Now I think he's gonna fight his next fight and be upgraded. Okay, and he's gonna have the super belt, the regular belt, right? Okay, now if Jerron Boots Ennis wants, he can fight Amanda Stiliones now, right? And unify the belts. And I think that they'll allow the fight for the WBA to make that the super belt of the division. It'll be the top dog belt in their fight. Just like they're doing with Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fedora, right? For the vacant WBC. So they might let that slide right there with the WBA, and I think the WBA will hop on board. It'll also bring money to their belt too, as well, right? But it's gonna make that fight that much bigger. Jaron Boots Ennis is coming after all those belts. Now, another potential opponent, Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. He's still registered as in the 147. He's not ranked in 154. So I don't know if he's going up. And I even said he should go up to 160. Okay, now if he's completely back and 100% dedicated, and it was the fact that he was coming off a long layoff, ring rust, the cataract surgery, and everything's good with him, and his body's starting to like heal better, and he needed a lot of time away, and he feels like he still has more to prove, then if he's going to be at 147, right, then that would be a potential opponent for Jaron Boots Ennis, and he could potentially get his belt back, because in actuality, that was one of his belts, the IBF, that Jaron Boots Ennis has. But I think Jaron Boots Ennis is probably going to take that one of those roads with the WBC or the WBA, you know. Um, there's a lot of options there on the table for him, but he is free. He's free. And oh, listen, remember when Ed Hearns was trying to sign him? And I want you to keep this in mind. Ed Hearns was trying to sign Jerron Boots Ennis, but he's trying to make it sound like he really didn't want to sign him, right? You know how promoters do, you know, right? Because he was saying, I can't promote you. Well, he's not a British fighter. He's an American fighter. Don't worry about that. He's working on it. We just got to see some more of him. And once Jerron Boots Ennis reminds the world of who he is, then he's going to start moving up, especially if he secures or unifies more of the belts and more of the pieces. Because it looks like Terrence Crawford has already thrown his hat in the ring for the winner out of Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu for the 154-pound WBO strap. Right, so more than likely he's going that way. Like I said, you don't activate your claw and your mandatory, notify the WBO, and don't have no intention on fighting the winner. The WBO is stopping all other potential mandatories because of this rule, and they're going to honor it. Okay. So yeah. And like other people that are going to be in similar situations where you better believe these guys are putting in their mandatories is going to be against Naoya Inoue. Okay. Um, if he does not move up to the 126 after the fight with Pantera, Luis Nari, right? If let's just suppose he does not move up in weight. Okay. Let's say he chooses to stay at 122. Well, he's got three mandatories right now on the table. Right at no sooner he finishes that fight, Sam Goodman becomes his mandatory, I believe, for the WBC, right? Is it the WBC? And then Agmadalia is MJ is the WBA's number one contender. MJ. That's right, Agmadalia. And then Sam Goodman is the number one contender for the WBC and I believe the IBF right now. Yes. So he would have to fight depending who's in front. And I think Sam Goodman's in front. You know why? If I remember correctly, because his promoter was going on saying that he could fight him out there and where Sam Goodman's from, right? And I was like, Australia, I was like, I was like, okay. So since he was saying that and he was on YouTube reporting that, I said to myself, well, then he has to be first in line before Ahmadalia. Yeah. So it depends on who's ready too. Because like I told you, the Naoya Inoue monster train, it's moving. And if you're not ready, it'll pass you right by. Yeah. So you gotta be ready. When you get that call, can you make this deadline? You better be like, yeah, because if you can't, they're just gonna go to the next guy. That's it. But you know, I've talked it out with a few people. I've heard a few situations and scenarios of why people believe he's gonna stay at 122. Some observers feel like he's maxed out. Some people are saying like just his body mass isn't he's not comfortable where that he feels like he can go up and be the best version of himself. That's what a lot of these guys are saying right now. And I would say if that was true and you knew this guy, you know, and that happened to be true, well, then okay, yeah. But um if he feels like he's ready to move up, then that decision's on him. I think that he put in enough work at 122, even though it was fast. I gotta admit, it was fast. We're just coming up on 3 fights, and it just feels like he just fought um Stephen Kubo Fulton just yesterday. It feels that way. He's moving so fast. And that's great for a champion and a fighter because the activity, it keeps you fresh. It keeps you, um, and a lot of this, he would have been a lot further in his career, the Japanese superstar, had it been not for the Corona epidemic. Had we never went through that part in history, he would have been a lot further. And that's scary to think about, because that's 2 years. And in 2 years, he could have put in a lot of work. During that time, there was moments where he couldn't get anybody to fight him during that time. As a matter of fact, one of the Russells denied the fight against him in the Corona bubble during that time. So he could have been a little even further, and that's scary to think about because look at what all he has done so far. You know, um, we've talked about this. I can't wait to see what his decision is. I like to speculate and fantasize about where he would go, but until it happens, I'm gonna patiently wait. And it seems like belts are moving around every day. Uh, I'm not even sure anymore who's going to be the champion in 126 by the time he gets there, and shall he choose to move. So that's going to be very interesting in itself. But Jaron Boots Ennis is a free agent. It's going to happen in the 147. Um, because the reason why I like this move in so many ways, because also fighters like Subriel Matias, eventually he's going to move up to 147. Yes, he is. Eventually. I'm not sure if he'll stay in 140 his whole career or if he can get these champions to fight him. Rolly and Pitbull Cruz is going to fight. And in so many different ways, I'm going to tell you why this fight really should not be happening. It really shouldn't, right? Because check this out. Let's say Rolly loses this fight. Let's say Isa Pitbull Cruz pulls this off. Is he prepared to defend that belt at that weight? Is he prepared to go up against these much bigger guys, faster, stronger guys, real boxers at 140? Isa Pitbull Cruz. Imagine Isa Pitbull Cruz in there against Subriel Matias. Bro, that would be a massacre. He Isa Pitbull Cruz legitimately is like 5'3.5". They got him listed as 5'4". And that's tall for him. Legitimately, he's like 5'3.5", bro. And have you ever seen him in real life, bro? This dude is like this, man. I'm 5'8.5", like 5'9", bro. And I tower over this dude, bro. There's no way, man. Listen. And a fighter such as like Matias, man, is he prepared to defend? Yo, would he fight good against Teofimo Lopez? Would he fight against Devin Haney? Bro, there's a bunch of killers. Esau Pitbull Cruz fucks around and wins this belt. What the hell is he gonna do? Play keep away. He's gonna try to fight like low level guys for the WBA. I don't know. But I tell you one, what he's not gonna do, Esau Pitbull Cruz is not gonna sign up to fight Devin Haney. Esau Pitbull Cruz is not going to sign up to fight Subriel Matias. And I wouldn't recommend it. Not because he's scared of them. It's just he's outmatched. What do you want him to do? What do you want him to just turn into this superior Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard type, Mike Tyson all of a sudden? Do you want him to just overnight inherit this one punch knockout power? We're talking about Esau Pitbull Cruz here. I gotta judge him for what he has. Yes, he's a fighter. Yes, he's a warrior. 100%. But that's not gonna win you the fight. He needs to be fighting in his weight class. If he fucks around and wins this belt, what is he going to do? Man, listen. He ain't fighting none of the big dogs. Yo, Teofimo Lopez will jump all over that fight to unify. Teofimo Lopez will go, man, listen, he'll run down the east side Pitbull Cruz. Bro, I'll fight you tomorrow. Come on. Just to get that belt, man. All the champions should just turn around and look at him like, what's up? Yo, that belt's a little too big for you, homeboy. That's a big boy belt, bro. Let me get that. Yo, he's just outgunned. He would be outmatched, outgunned up there. You know, the guys are just too big. They just too big for him. And he ain't go. He'll. Yeah, I'm not saying that Esau Pitbull Cruz wouldn't fight any of these guys. Probably would fight anybody. Esau Pitbull Cruz, bro. He'd probably fight any man in the planet. He'll give it a shot, right? Is he gonna win? There's no way I see Esau Pitbull Cruz beating Subriel Matias. Listen, he doesn't belong here. He doesn't belong here. And this is that shit about boxing we be talking about, you know? And him fighting someone not even in the division. You know, look, I know they trying to like be done with Rolly, but the WBA really needs to start looking at a real champion if they want real money and real people to come in to watch someone represent their belt. The WBA. The WBA needs to lock down a real good champion. In a certain way, they should just feed him to Subriel. That's it. Yo, just be like, yo, you gotta fight him. The WBA. So I don't know how, convince him. Like, no, you gotta fight him, because if the WBA can get their belt around the waist of a good champion, and they represent in your organization, Rolly does make money, and the WBA sees that they have a champion. He has a big mouth, a lot of following, and a lot of people like the dude, right? But as far as boxing, the sweet science goes, if you want longevity for your belt and a great representation of boxing for your champion, I think you should kind of like move on from fighters like this. Yeah, and I'm not taking away anything from Esau Pitbull Cruz because WBA champion at 130 pounds, perfect. Yo, I would love an Esau Pitbull Cruz at 130. A prime dedicated Esau Cruz at 130, getting them belts down there. I think he would be just a great champion. He feels like um like everybody who left the 135 and Tank Davis ain't gonna fight him and wear the other belts, but Esau Pitbull Cruz can also fight the winner out of Loma and George Camboza, right? And he can, he should try to stay down at 135 because that division is gonna get interesting. Does he feel like he can't beat Loma and Loma already got that fight won? Well, if you think you can't beat Loma, how the hell you gonna fight against Devin? How the fuck are you gonna fight against Tio Subriel? Like he's putting. I don't know, man. If your mission is just to become a world champion in life, and you just want to take that and then get serious and go back down to 135, hold on to it for as long as you can, and then since you're a champion at 140, they'll take you serious at 135 and give you one of those fights, and then maybe Eastside. I could see something like that, him doing something like that. just taking a one fight kind of thing, getting the belt, hold on to it for a little while, for as long as you can for a little while, right? And then, but use that as leverage to secure yourself a fight at 135. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, and then probably has no intentions on defending it. Yeah, I could see him doing that though. That's a better plan. Yeah, because once you're a champion at 140, the organization's gonna fuck with you hard body. And you start asking for they start opening doors for you. So yeah, let's see what happens in that regards. But I don't think he's prepared to fight the guys at 140, and I don't think he's good. Yeah, take this Rolly fight, take the money, try to here, this is a real world title right here. So yeah, I wouldn't pass up the opportunity neither, but I would be using it in a different way rather than trying to like really be a 140-pounder champion when he doesn't belong there, you know. So and then Terrence Crawford is gonna be going in at the 154. The soon as Tim Zoo and that fight got so much better in so many different ways because now there's two belts on the line. So when Terrence Crawford fights the winner, guess what that's gonna be for? Probably for the two belts. So yeah, and people are saying that they want to see Naoya Inoue unify all four belts at 126 pounds. Uh-oh, watch out. It looks like Terrence Crawford's lining himself up right now. Yeah, Tim Tszyu wins this fight, or either Sebastian Fedora wins this fight, and Terrence Crawford beats the winner of that for two belts. He already got two of the belts at 154. You think he's going to stop there? He's only two belts away from making it a three division. What do you think Terrence Crawford's going to try to do? He's going to try to go for them remaining two belts. So, depending who owns them too, because I think that the IBF is still vacant. I gotta check that. I gotta see which ones are still vacant and which ones, um, um, you know, I gotta check on that. Depending because those belts are not gonna stay vacant for much longer. So, I can imagine someone's gonna fight for them. Um, I'm not sure who right now. I'll look more into that. But if Terrence Crawford gets two belts at 154, it's only a matter of time before he pushes the envelope to fuck it. Let's try to get the other two belts and get three divisions. That'll be insane. Yeah. And then by that time, the Japanese superstar can at least secure the WBO. He can at least secure the WBO at 126. He can entice and offer the other champions to fight him, in which I believe there hasn't really been a champion at 126 pounds that's made that kind of money. And if you've never made that kind of money and they call you and they start talking about M's in the end of your negotiations, like M's millions at the back of that fucking conversation, that might entice you to put the belt on the line. And Bob Arum and Top Rank are going to put up that money. Yes, they are. Bob Arum, Top Rank are going to put that money up for the Japanese because they believe in them. They believe in them, and they like, yo, we backing him. Bob Arum said it numerous of times. I'm trying to secure him the big fights. Why do you think that the Japanese superstar got this far? He didn't have no gold medal when he came into here. He didn't, it wasn't, you know what I mean? He didn't have a big backing from a promotional company. In fact, he wasn't even signed with Bob Arum leading into the World Series of Boxing. All the way until they like really looked at him, paid attention. They were like, yo, come here, we want to sign you. You know what I mean? And now Bob Arum is like loves the dude. He's like, yo, I think he's the best thing since sliced bread. So I think Bob Arum will go to back for him and they'll put big money up. Plus, them Saudis is throwing around a lot of money too. And if you want to be part of that, whether or not some people said that the prince don't know what the fuck he's doing, well, he's changing boxing. I tell you that much. And if he's changing people's lives and giving them money they probably would have never ever made in their life, he's changing boxing. And I can't say that that's a bad thing. And if he wants to invite these people out there, he's he made a boxing ring. He's guaranteeing their safety, and it's a great experience. And you're making a shitload of money. What's wrong with this picture? I don't care who he picks to box. He can bring Manny Pacquiao out of retirement, the Saudi prince, and give him fucking 100 million. That's his money. That's he wants to put these events. He can do it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna watch him. You know, um. So I don't see anything wrong with it. So yeah, they when you got situations like this arising in boxing and stuff, there a lot of things can happen. Um, and I think Ed Hearns just might try to sign Jaron Boots Ennis. A bigger promotional company. I think that he has a promotional company right now already, like was lined up with him. There was a gentleman that did step in for him. I'm not sure what that really is behind the scenes. I don't know any of their guys, so I haven't really got confirmation in that if he's already signed to a promotional company or if um Ed Hearns and them really are thinking about signing him. Like in Subriel Matias's case, right? Subriel Matias is still kind of signed to his promoter in Puerto Rico. They just got and then Ed Hearns signed them, but he has two promoters. You see, they work together in association and affiliation with each other. And they whatever agreement they worked out. But that Puerto Rican dude is still Subriel's promoter, and then Ed Hearns is his promoter. I'm like, wait a minute, like what? And that's how it goes. Same way with Naoya Inoue. Same exact scenario. The Japanese dude that's in the ring that he hugs every time before his father sometime in fact, that's his boxing promoter. I forget how to pronounce his name. That's his boxing promoter right there. But wait a minute. Ain't top rank Bob Arum his boxing promoter? Yes. Yes. That Japanese gentleman right there is like a Bob Arum over there. And he works with top rank. So Naoya Inoue has like two promoters. Same scenario, same way, same way. So a lot of the times these guys work with each other, and that could happen with Aerospin. I mean, Jaron Boots Ennis. That could be the case where that he might have some gentleman that he believes and has been working with that's been helping him with his situation, and then collectively can join with Ed Hearn. Yeah. I've seen that I broke down so many scenarios for you. That's how it goes. So, yeah. But this is good news. This is good news because now we can get shit moving. Now we can get some shit moving. Now we can see and this I mean, if he wants to continue to fight, one time Keith Thurman, now Jaron Boots Ennis is free to take a fight. Now, and let's just remember that one time Keith Thurman beat the shit out of Mario Barrio. Mario Barrio got a belt now. So one time Keith Thurman can hit that rematch, get a belt, put himself in position. I don't know. Well, is he at that age where that he feels like his body's starting to fall apart? He's always been a person that's throughout his careers injuries has plagued one time Keith Thurman. Yeah. So, he has to know that about himself. So what does he go where does he go from here? Does he pick up a microphone or does he pick up boxing gloves? The choice is his. So yeah. Hey, look, guys, that's all I really got for you. I wanted to make a video. Um, we are definitely going live on Saturday with the Tim Zoo fight. That's we doing that. We gonna probably rock out on the card. So that's gonna be a long stream. So grab your popcorn, join me. We could chop it up. I have live chat. and we'll have a great time. So, fight fans, I'm on to the next video after this video here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.